the journey has come to an end. Let's have some security recommendations and summarize some of the main recommendations that we can advise as security specialists to be made on the network. Let's have an idea about the malware propagation techniques. It is sometimes through the removable media, like the flash, CD, DVD, or something like this, flash memories or flash drives, the email attachments. Web browsing can be a propagation technique for some malware. Social networks can be also a propagation technique. The network vulnerabilities can cause the malware to spread over the network. Instant messaging applications can spread malware either through the chatting itself or through the attachment and files being transferred. The peer-to-peer networks, all of these are malware propagation techniques and should be taken care of, and we should be aware of all these, and we should put in mind how to defend against malware propagation through any of these techniques or any of these networks. It is recommended that you define a security policy always, and wherever you are responsible for security, ask for the policy. If not, then take it as your duty to define the security policy for the place. Use upgraded operating system. Use the most recent version of Windows or Linux and update it with the patches of the Windows or Linux being published every now and then. It is always related to security, and it is always rendering to a more secure operating system. Enforce strong passwords, complex passwords that change every now and then, and that causes the account to log out after 3 or 4 bad login attempts, and that are not repeated and that are kept in the history. So enforce strong passwords. This is very helpful. Implement firewall. You should implement firewall to protect your network traffic from malicious traffic and to protect your devices and internal network and demilitarized zone from malicious and wicked connections and attacks that may come through the internet or even from inside attackers. Isolate both of the DMZ and wireless networks through separate switches, through the firewall, or through any defensive technique that isolate your internal network with precious assets from both of the demilitarized zone that is exposed to the internet and the wireless network that is exposed to guests. Deploy antivirus on every single machine, maybe on the network, maybe. So deploy antivirus to protect your machines, to protect your systems from the viruses and malwares. Utilize IDS and IPS. IDS is very good tool and very good technology in security. IPS is also very good but is very advanced. Whenever they are necessary, go ahead and utilize them, but take care of utilizing IPS, namely because it may cause some problems, it takes some decisions. So you should be trained and you should be a good security specialist understanding what IPS does before using it. Consider honeypot if necessary. Consider deploying honeypot inside your network. If necessary, it may give you more and more information about your attackers and their attacking techniques and give you evidence and forensics about them. Upgrade and update the firmware of the switches, the routers, of the mobile devices, of any device that is running through a firmware. Upgrade and update the firmware always and whenever possible, because this upgrading and updating leads to better security for sure. Physically secure servers and network equipment, and consider the physical security of the servers, the network equipment, the machines, even the people themselves. The physical security is a very component and very effective component of the security posture of the organization, and it has the advantage of being simple in attacking and very effective in its impact on your network. Set login and file access permissions. It is always good to give the permission the same size the same size that is needed, or the same size the employee or the legitimate users needs, not more permissions. Do not give the write permission for someone who only needs to read the files, or delete permissions for someone who only needs to read and write the files. Change permissive default settings, default passwords for switches, routers, access points for the Windows devices or Linux devices. Think of the default settings as a weak point, as a vulnerability, as a backdoor for your security, and consider changing them if they are permissive. Never leave any default setting unchanged unless it is necessary and essential. Run antivirus and anti-spyware on the machines. Update antivirus software files. These are two recommendations related once more to the antiviruses. Antivirus and anti-spyware are good, will protect the machines and may protect the network. Update the antivirus, keep the antivirus updated, and of course use licensed versions of the software to be able to update it. Activate the browser tools like the pop-up stoppers, anti-phishing, the plugin monitors, and so and so. All these browser tools may protect your host machine from being broken by confidentiality, integrity, or availability, from being giving away confidential information without your permission or without even your knowledge. Thank you.